The clock on the plain white wall made a constant ticking sound. The man in his 20s leaning back in his chair, his head tilted in an uncomfortable position, his eyes were closed, face tilted up, and his breathing was slow and steady. The walls without any decoration were bare, similar to how he tried to clear his mind before each session. His hands were on his stomach, his fingers interlocked, and this was only fourth visit in 2 months, but each time felt like stepping into a new world where he was still trying to understand how things worked. The silence was interrupted by the door opening, followed by the familiar sound of heels shaking on the ground. His eyebrow creased slightly at the noise, but he kept his eyes closed for a moment later. "Sorry, I'm late," was held up a bit, said a smooth and apologetic voice. This voice was professional yet warm, made Jungkook finally open his eyes. He shifted his gaze towards the source, meeting the eyes of his therapist, who was smiling slightly. Her eyes briefly traced the lines of the bandage wrapping his hands. She placed her bag on the table before meeting his gaze again. "Got into a fight again?" "Yeah," he replied. "It was not in the ring." "What happened this time? What triggered you?" she asked, encouraging him to open up. "It was nothing specific, just stupid stuff. People saying things, pushing buttons they have no business pushing. It seems like these incidents are happening quite frequently. What do you think these triggers are about?" Jungkook's jaw tightened, and he looked away for a moment, not wanting to be here, but then he realized he was on his own. "It's just when people undermine me, question my integrity, my ability, it set me off." Alright, what do you feel right before you read? Can you identify the emotion?" "It's like rush, anger, frustration. I need to just stop whatever is pushing me. And after I just feel empty, sometimes regretful. I know it's wrong the fighting, that's why I almost spend my time in the ring. Yet sometimes it gets out of hands. But we are here to work on Jungkook." And the session continues for another 30 minutes. He is known as a strong boxer because he rarely shows emotion. Despite his quiet reputation, his fame was being marred by his anger issues. Him getting into a fight out of the ring were causing problems for him and his reputation, until his security, or you can say his friend Jay, suggested him to take therapy session. He was mad at first, telling him how he doesn't need any therapy, and he was all fine until he noticed himself. He was pissed off first 2 sessions, and Ryan had a quite difficult time controlling and bearing his tantrums. But on the third one, he was okay, and this fourth time he came on his own after getting into a fight. Jungkook adjusted his jacket, taking off his helmet as he made his way towards the convenience store. Within a couple of minutes, he emerged with a pack of cigarettes. Leaning back against his bike, he pulled a lighter from his pocket, burned the ends of a cigarette, and placed it between his lips. A cloud of smoke fell as he exhaled, his eyes scanning the road. His gaze settled on a familiar figure. The person back was turned to him. He furrowed his brows, about to dismiss it as a trick of his mind until she turned around. The woman was staring at her car with a visible frustrated expression. Phone pressed to her ear as she turned. Her face came into view. Then he finally realized who it was. He took one last drag from his cigarette before stubbing it out and walking over. "Having trouble?" His tone was casual as he approached her. He turned her head, her eyes slightly widening in recognition before a small smile appeared on her face. "Oh, Jungkook, yeah. My car decided to die right here. I have been trying to call roadside assistant, but no luck getting through. Do you need a hand? Maybe I can take a look." "That would be great if you don't mind. I'm not much good with cars." He bent down to inspect the car. After a few minutes of checking the engine, making some adjustment, he straightened up after securing the loose battery cable. "Try starting the car now." She nodded and she turned the key. And surprisingly, the engine started. A sigh of relief escaping her mouth. "Thank you so much, Jungkook. You're a lifesaver." He closed the hood, his honest lips curling into a smile. "It's nothing much, really. Still, I was just surprised you have knowledge about cars. I mean, not saying in a bad way. I just see you on bikes, so..." Leaning casually against the side of car. "Yeah, I do own a car, so I picked up a few things about cars along the way. Come in handy. But I prefer bikes. They are more my style." She smiled. "I own you for this one. Maybe the next session of yours will be free." He chuckled, his eyes twinkling at the corners. "That's generous. That's so generous of her," he said, the casual lean still in his posture as he eyed the car. "But I would love if you do it in some other way." Yoon raised an eyebrow. "Oh, and what way would that be?" "This Saturday is my match, so if you are able to come," he said. "Oh, well," he cut her off, seeing her thoughtful expression. "You don't have to if you are busy. There is no force, of course. If you can, that would be great. No pressure though." He quickly added, and she smiled. I think I can. Might be free." I think I might be free this Saturday. So I will confirm it to you. Through I should give you my number. It would be easier, he suggested, extending his hand. She handed him her phone without hesitation. Sure, she said simply as he typed his number. And back her phone, she quickly gave him a missed call to save his number in her possible. Got it. I will look forward to possibly seeing you there, he said, and she nodded. Let me check my schedule and I will let you know soon. Her tone was friendly and she started the car. Jingle stepped back as he watched her driving away, a genuine smile playing on his lips. Well, at least he got something. Can you hurry this up? Jungkook snapped, his voice harsher than intended. The sting from the antiseptic was nothing compared to the sting of his bruised ego. I need to make sure these are cleaned properly, she responded calmly. You wouldn't want any infection, would you? Yeah, but stop doing it in a slow motion. I don't have time for this. Man, chill out. She's just doing her job. You won? Shouldn't you be happy? I would be happy if someone would just do things at a reasonable pace, he retorted, glaring at the bandage being applied a little too slowly for his liking. Look, I got you are wound up from the fight, but snapping at people is not going to help. Jay, what did I tell you about keeping your mouth shut around me? Done with him throwing tantrums like a grown child. Why is it taking so long? It's just a cut. He snapped again towards the doctor. Before the doctor could respond, there was a knock at the door. Jay sighed, walking over to the door before opening it. Hi. Jungkook had snapped up at the voice, his irritation turning into surprise, then turned into slight embarrassment as he realized he must have heard him, bursting out loud enough to hear out of the door. Can I come in? He coughed out a little before saying, Yeah, of course. Jay smiled, giving her a space. She stepped inside, instantly feeling the thick atmosphere. Jungkook straightened himself more. I see, getting patched up? Yeah, just a few scratches, nothing serious, he said, trying to downplay. Jay glanced at the doctor, giving her a look that clearly meant she should leave. The doctor, however, seemed confused. Well, I have some work to do. I'll be back. As he glared at the doctor, one noticed the doctor hesitating to leave her task unfinished. Oh, but doctor, where are you going? His wounds are still not patched yet. Jungkook shot Jay a glare, his eyes signaling desperately, make an excuse. Well, Van, she have other work to do, and while you are here, I think you can help Jungkook. No, right? Van blinked, taken aback. What? What are you saying, Jay? He said, trying to act clueless. Well, you said that. I mean, we have our urgent work. Bye. He quickly grasped the doctor's arm, practically dragging her out of the room. The door slammed shut behind him, leaving Van and Jungkook alone in the suddenly quiet room. He ran a hand through his hair. I'm sorry about that. Oh, it's okay. But are you sure you are okay? I'm fine. I deal with it quite often. Reaching for the bandage and trying to finish the job himself, but before he could properly grasp it, she stepped forward, her hand stopping him. I will help you. You sure? Of course. He nodded and slowly withdrew his hand, allowing her to take care of him. So he did, applied the ointment on his lips. It was coiled against his split up lips. She carefully dabbed the ointment on, ensuring not to press too hard, and he was intently watching her. His earlier impatience was wiped off as he didn't really mind how much time she was taking. Thank you. Her eyes met his for a second before she muttered, a small, for what? For this, and for coming here today. I guess I was not expecting you to show up, honestly. Last minute plans. Were you waiting for me? She said, raising her eyebrow, and their eyes locked. His lips curved into a small smile. Maybe a part of me was hoping. She smiled, aware of the tension between them. He leaned back slightly, giving himself some space to breathe, not to get overwhelmed by their proximity. Then, I'm glad I did. Plus, I was curious to see you in your element. Well, wrong date. Not my best moment out there, though, he admitted, rubbing the back of his neck awkwardly. Was there something in your mind that you got distracted? Only if she knew she was the reason. Nothing special, he shrugged, and she stepped back from him, wiping her hand with the tissue placed on the chair. Still, you won. Congratulations for that. Thank you. I should be get going now. I just wanted to check on you. I can drop you off? No, it's fine. You should rest for a while. The bruises look awful. Now they're part of me. Guess it's just close to the territory, right? He shrugged. But seeing her concerned expression, he quickly added, but really, I'm okay. It looked worse than it feels. I'm used to it by now. Okay, then, she said, walking towards the door. But before opening the door, she turns to him. Take care of yourself. She gave him one last smile before walking out, while Jungkook just sat there, blinking his eyes, a faint smile forming on his lips. Hello, Jay, what's up? You need to come over. It's Jungkook. He's out of control, right? His voice was slightly tense, panic, and she furrowed her brows in worry. What do you mean out of control? What happened? Is he hurt? No, it's not like that. He's not hurt, not physically. He just not listening to anyone. And his mood swings are, look, I have never seen him like this. He won't talk to anyone else about whatever going on. I don't think I can. I'm really tired of today. Have you tried getting to those breathing exercise I taught you guys? Sometimes you need moment to no one, you don't get it. I'm not going anywhere near that boy right now. He's like a ticking bomb. Only one life, okay? You need to come. I can't handle this alone. Okay, Jay, calm down. Just tell me where you are. I'll be there. Thank you. I'm sending you the location now. Please hurry. She sighed, grabbing her car keys and her bag. She made a call and she is in a hurry. She left her office, heading to the location Jay sent her. Once she inside the gym, the sound of a punching bag hit with considerable force reached her ear. Before she even saw Jungkook, she was at the far end of the gym, relentlessly striking the heavy bag with a series of powerful punches and kicks. Shirtless, his entire body glistened with sweat. She paused and leaned against the wall. Watch him unload the anger. The unfortunate punching bag, which looked like might burst open at any moment. If she was not there to calm him down, she might have just stood there longer, admiring how his muscle moved with each punch. Wait, what? She flinched slightly when the punching bag finally gave way under his relentless assault. The fabric tearing apart with a loud rip, the content spilling everywhere. A string of curses spilled from Jungkook's lips. It was then she snapped back to reality, reminding of why she was there. Jungkook, she spoke, soft enough not to startle him. His movement halted abruptly as he turned to face her, his chest heaving from exertion and his eyes were wide in surprise as he finally realized who was standing there. Oh, Wine, didn't expect you to come here. I was passing by. Jay called you? Wine paused. At least he doesn't have to lie because he seemed already have guessed it. He was worried about you. I see. He began to unwind the wraps from his hand. She picked up the bottle from nearby bench and handed it to him. Here, you look like you could use this. Without a word, he popped the cap off the bottle and brought it to lips. He squeezed the bottle hard, emptying it almost instantly in one swift motion as the water rushed down. Wine watched, a bit taken aback. He tossed the crumpled bottle to the corner of the gym. He caught her surprised look. Don't look at me like that. She laughed softly. Sorry, I have never been seen someone drink water like that. You must have been really thirsty. He cracked a smile, annoyingly almost forgetting about the anger he was feeling a little while ago. Yeah, he admitted, wiping the back of his hand across his mouth. Yes, I just got carried away. He took the towel and began to wipe his sweat off his body. She walked in silently. She wiped down his body, noting the way his muscles tensed and relaxed with each movement. He could sense her gaze on him, which made him slightly yet strangely aware about himself. Should we go out? I might think you need a drink. He dropped the towel on his shoulder and nodded. He walked over to the table and wore his shirt on his body. I guess that sounds good. Great. There's a nice place, not too far from here. Quite not too crowded. And it was not too long they both were sitting across the table in silence. Soon a server brought over the bottle of soju and 2 glasses. She poured each of them a drink. So, you wanted to talk about what happened today? She said, breaking the silence and trying to be professional. Even though they were outside, they were strangely comfortable with each other. It's nothing new. Everything was getting on my nerves, and I felt like if I didn't get it out, I might explode. It's not something big, not something deep, or something that was sudden that I take out. It's like a build-up of small things, small annoyance and frustration that build over time. Until it felt like the one. She nodded her head, listening to him carefully. He was always not the one to open up about. She nodded her head, listening to him carefully. He was not the one to open up. That's why it's always difficult to talk about everything. He feels embarrassed, but then it's not like he could control it. It ran in his family. They both just sat there, and Soju helped him to open up freely without being embarrassed. One tapped her fingers on the table. Jungkook excused himself for the bathroom, so she was left alone at the table. She felt the collective eyes on her. She shrugged, not paying much attention. She casually scanned the room, her gaze meeting that a group of older men sitting across the bar. Their stares lingered uncomfortably long, and she quickly avoided her eyes and decided she needed a moment away from the oppressive atmosphere. She gathered her belongings and Jungkook's mobile, which he had left on the table. Standing up, she headed towards the entrance for fresh air, hoping the cool night breeze would wash away the unease. Stepping outside, the cool air felt refreshing against her skin. She breathed deeply, trying to relax as she waited for Jungkook to return. The sound of footsteps approaching made her tense, and she reluctantly opened her eyes to find the group of men from inside bar now standing in front of her. Hey there, pretty lady, the closest man said. Why don't you come back inside and join us for a drink? We promise we are more fun than whoever you are waiting for. Yeah, don't stand there outside. It's not safe for a beautiful girl like you. We can keep you a company. She remained calm, though her stomach churned with disgust. No, thank you. I'm waiting for someone and I do prefer to stay here. The man didn't move, instead encroaching a little closer. The ringleader smirking. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Just one drink. Let us treat you. She took a step back, her back almost against the wall now. I said no, thank you. Please leave me alone now. I'm saying it politely. The man stepped forward, grabbing her wrist, the other hand on her shoulder, and that most unwelcoming touch. His breath was foul as he smirked, trying to appear charming. Oh, why so damn beautiful? We are just being friendly. A pretty girl like you shouldn't be out here all alone. We are just here for some chit-chat. He quit, his hand moving from her shoulder to lightly brushed her hair back. Her jaw clenched as she slapped his hand away from her face. Ever heard of the name Jungkook? She said, almost cringing of using his name in this situation. And then the man gazed at her. Who? That's your little boyfriend? Yeah, he's not just some little boyfriend. Her smile tight, but her eyes steady. He's Jungkook, Jungkook, the boxer. Maybe you have heard him, national champion. Ring a bell? They all exchanged glances, shaking their heads. She sighed, all brain, but let me tell you about him, since he wanted to have a little chit-chat with me. You see, Jungkook has a quiet reputation for his, let's say, short fuse. It's not just in the ring, and if he finds out that someone was touching me like that, she paused for effect, letting her words sink in their mind. Well, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. One of them man excused. You think you have the balls to be scared because your boyfriend throw punches? She smiled, widening at the fraction, but there was nothing warm about it. You don't have to believe me or be scared, but maybe you should ask yourself if it's worth the risk. If broken jaw or worse, really worth a minute of trying to harass someone who clearly is not interested. Think carefully. Hospital bills can be quite expensive.